like I said, not an expert. I'm not going to catch everything. I'm not going to catch all the secrets, all the little hidden gems here and there. No, not at all. Absolutely not. Not me. No.
Hi friends, it's Colleen. I am currently at the movies about to see Five Nights at Freddy's, so that's fun. It's like 1 o'clock on a Friday. Did I take off work for this? Yes, I did. Because I was like, you know what, might as well. Work kind of sucks right now. And if I can take some vacation time and go see Five Nights at Freddy's, it'll be worth it. You know, even though we're totally swamped at work, but that's fine, whatever. I am currently wearing a cloak and FNAF shirt, so that's fun times. I figured might as well. It's the only FNAF shirt I own, but whatever. Anyways, I am gonna go see the movie, so I hope you all, well, you'll see me in a second, I guess. I'm gonna film a reaction after the movie. We'll see. Okay, all right, bye. Hi friends, I just got out of the movie. So super short initial reaction is that I thought it was really good. Yeah, it was good. There were some things that I was kind of like, I don't know about that. But I don't know. I can explain more. I feel awkward filming in my car, especially since I think there's some guys who were sitting in the same row as me, like kind of next to me at the movies, who I think might have looked over at me and seen me doing this. So this is weird. This is awkward. I'm gonna film more of a reaction later. But good movie. I liked it. It's definitely one that I need to like see again to give more input, but I will give other initial reactions later when I get home. So, see you then.
Hi, hello. Welcome back. Or, well, welcome me back, I guess. I don't know. This is Dylan, for those of you who don't know Dylan. If you watch my Twitch streams, you may or may not know him. I don't know. You don't see him very often. He's usually locked up because he's a butt. Right? He's like, why are you holding me? Hold on. Alright, anyways. So, saw the FNAF movie today. It was good. I thought it was really good. There were some things that I was like, well, okay, back up. I don't know what to expect going into this movie, okay? I had no idea. Like, I know the games, well enough. So, I've seen people play the games. I've played, I don't know, like half of the first game, give or take. I don't know. You can watch the videos on my YouTube channel here. But, like, I had no idea what to expect going into this movie. Like, obviously, we've all seen the trailers. We've all watched them. We've all wondered what's happening. Or at least I have. I don't know. But it was a good movie. But there were some things that I was kind of like, about. And like I said before, I do need to watch the movie again. Maybe a couple of times to really give a good reaction. To give more context and things like that. Actually, let me come back. Hi, you're a part of this now, okay? Hi, friends! Okay, so it's a while later. It's a couple hours later, actually. But... So, I took a couple hours to, well, not only run an errand, but also to put down my thoughts, just so I could have them written out. But also, so I could have a non-spoiler section and then get into the spoilers. Right, buddy? Right. I don't know why you're laying like this or sitting like this. I don't understand it. So this is the no spoiler zone, okay? I'm going to talk about just a few, like, small things that are, like, non-spoilers, just so that, if you don't want spoilers, you can stop the video at any point once I get to the spoilers, okay? Cool. So, I'm sure as a lot of people know, or maybe, I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I know this. Markiplier was supposed to be in this movie. Because, he's a big YouTuber. He's pretty big in the FNAF world, from what I know. He's also the only person I've ever watched play FNAF. So... that's just a me thing. However, Mark couldn't be in the movie because he had a scheduling conflict with his own movie, Iron Lung, which, like, totally understand. And I mean, personally, like, I would have loved to see Mark in the FNAF movie. I think that would have been great. I think he would have done awesome. I'm very curious. Throughout the movie, I was like, I wonder what he would have done in this movie if he were in it. Because we do see a couple of other people, a couple of other, big YouTube, whatever names in this movie. But I don't know what Mark would have done. Anyways, kind of moving on from that, there were some jump scares, which were great. You know, FNAF is known for jump scares and, you know, when you die and things like that, whatever. Or at least that's what I think of, you know, whenever I think of playing FNAF is just, first of all, being really tense and scared, and also just jump scares when you die, which, perfect, fantastic, love it. But also, I want to talk about the acting. Just briefly, the acting was really good. The actors were all great. I will say, I don't know how old the character of the girl, her name is Abby. She is, so the main character, the security guard, is Mike, and his sister is Abby. Abby is his sister. I don't know how old she was supposed to be in the movie, but she was like not old enough to be home alone, so she had to have a babysitter. But for whatever reason, in my head, I'm like, okay, she looks like she could be like 10. Maybe she might be younger than that. I don't know. I don't know how old kids are. I don't know. But like there were times where it was really interesting because there were a lot of times, I think throughout most of the movie, she was very childish, you know, very childlike. And I was like, okay, obviously, perfect. She did great. She acted like a child. She is a child. Perfect. And then there were a couple times where I was like, you're acting a little more adult than I would expect. Like not childlike anymore in this like one, like 2 sentences or something, and I'm like, that's a little interesting, but I'll take it. Like, I don't know. Either way, she was really good. I can't think of her name. I didn't write it down. My bad. I apologize. So there were elements from different games. I mean, I personally am not a FNAF expert at all. Not even close. I barely, and I mean like barely know any FNAF lore. Like, it's just, I'm nowhere near expert. At all. This is your warning. Okay, I'm nowhere near expert. Okay? Anyways, but like I did recognize there were some things from different games, from some of the ones I've seen. I have not seen all of Markiplier's FNAF videos. Shame on me. I've been watching him for only like 3 years. About. So, you know, there was time for me to catch up on all of the FNAF videos, but I have not done that. I've been working on it slowly, but I haven't watched all of them yet. Oops. My bad. I don't know all the games yet. Oops. Anyways, so the movie was good. I thought the movie was great. It honestly wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought it was going to be a lot scarier. Like, I would say a good bit of the movie, not scary. Just not. It's really not. And because I don't know, when I think of the FNAF games, I think like, oh, you know, like there's kind of like, it's Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria is supposed to be a place for kids. So obviously you have like the whole like kid, whatever themes going on. It's supposed to be fun, family friendly fun, you know, things like that. But it's also a horror game with lots of jump scares and whatnot. But it wasn't that scary. It really wasn't. Like the jump scares get you. But overall, I was like, the movie, good movie, just not like, scary. What is my cat doing? But yeah, so movie not as scary as I expected it to be, but still very good. Still very good. I hesitate to say like, oh, great movie, fantastic movie, this is what we've been waiting for, because I haven't been in the FNAF world for very long, and I'm also not an expert in the lore. I haven't played all the games. I don't know all the games. I don't know all the lore. So I can't say, hey, this is a great movie. It exceeded my expectations, whatever. I didn't know what this movie was going to be. I know the original game. I understand that game. But I don't know. It was a good movie. It wasn't, in my opinion, the best movie it could have been. Like, it was still absolutely fantastic. It just wasn't like, oh my god, I love this movie. It was like, I really like it. It's really good. I will happily see it a million times. But it's not super high up there, you know? Like, if I had to put it at a tier list, and like S tier is like, oh my god, my favorite movies, I'd probably put FNAF at like a good A, probably, maybe? Up there, somewhere? I don't know. I have no idea. But I genuinely would happily watch this movie. Just whenever. That's all I'm getting at. Is that it was a good movie. It was fantastic. I think all the actors did a really good job. I think just everyone who worked on this movie, fantastic job. It's just not up there in S tier for me. I don't know. It is what it is. Ooh. Hi, are you ready for spoilers? Are you ready for the spoilers? I'm gonna spoil the entire movie. He doesn't care about the spoilers. It's fine. Anyways, now is the spoiler time where I talk about things that happen in the movie that might make people go, oh my god, I didn't want to know that, because spoiler. Like I said, not an expert. I'm not going to catch everything. I'm not going to catch all the secrets, all the little hidden gems here and there. No. Not at all. Absolutely not. Not me. No. I'm just giving my opinions on everything as someone who likes FNAF and likes watching Markiplier play it, and is having a time playing it myself. So obviously, you know, watching the trailers, there's Josh Hutcherson as the security guard. There's this kid named Abby, and it's kind of like, who's the kid? And I know when we first see Josh, aka Mike, when we see Mike and Abby, I'm sitting here thinking, Josh Hutcherson is not old enough to be a father to a kid that is this age. No. Turns out it's Mike's sister, so it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. It's fine. What I thought was really interesting is that, like, we see Mike at a different job, like as a security guy. The back of his shirt says security and whatnot. And so he's talking to a coworker of his who I think is also like a security guy at the mall. They must be security guards at the mall. I really don't know. But he's talking to this guy. He's like holding a book on dream theory, and he's talking with him about it and being like, yeah, you know, dream theory, blah, 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 whatever. And so I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so Mike must be like some super smart guy who's like a scientist, and he's into dream theory and everything. And it turns out I'm completely wrong. He has trauma and he wants to figure it out with dream theory. And I was like, okay, interesting. All right, awesome. But Mike goes to see a career counselor, and there are some very, very, very obvious signs of like, hey, this career counselor, maybe not the best person? Maybe. Because this career counselor, you know, is kind of just doesn't even look at the guy's name, really, at first, I think. Because he looks through Mike's resume. He's kind of like, what are you doing with your life? You know, you lasted at this job for 2 months. You were at this job for a week. You know, you lasted at this job for 2 hours. Like, what are you doing? I'm trying to figure you out so I can help you get a job. Like, whatever. And it's when he finally reads Mike's name, and he's like, so your name is Mike. Okay, well, what about, and he kind of like moves on a little bit. I'm like, all right, you're a little shady there. What happened? What did you do? How do you know this kid? And so my brain is kind of like, okay, does the guy know Mike's family? Is there something going on there? Like, what's happening? I don't know. I didn't quite like connect dots and figure it out until the end of the movie. And I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. It's fine. But then also this career counselor, you know, does kind of like suddenly bring up, you know, like, oh, I have a gig for you. It's at nights. It's a security guard kind of thing. Although, yeah, he doesn't explain it very well, in my opinion. Like, he just doesn't. I don't know. Maybe my brain was elsewhere trying to figure out who this guy was. But I was like, I don't know if he's explaining what this job is very well. And I feel like he didn't say that it was at night. But then Mike's like, I can't do nights and whatnot. 'Cause, you know, he has Abby to take care of. His parents are gone. He has to take care of Abby. But when the career counselor explains, you know, he explains, oh, you know, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Or maybe he doesn't even say the name really, but he's kind of like, oh, you know, it's this old place. It was really popular in the 80s. And so then I'm like, what time period are we in? Because I was kind of thinking maybe we were in the 80s. But maybe not. I don't know. Because you don't see smartphones in this movie. So I was like, what is this, the 90s? The 2000s? It can kind of go either way, to be honest. But it's very obvious. The guy is like, hey, you know, this place is, like, it's not open, it's not functional, but still needs a security guard. And I think Mike probably asked, like, why is it still standing? Why is it still up? And the guy is like, oh, you know, maybe the guy just can't maybe the person who owns it just can't seem to bother getting rid of it. You know, he's not ready to let go. And I immediately was like, oh, so you own it. Okay, cool. Perfect. Got that. I understand. That was like the only thing that I got, but it was like, you know. But admittedly, it does make sense that this career counselor, known as Steve Raglan, turns out to be William Afton by the end of the movie. And you're like, that makes, it senses. It makes sense. It senses. But eventually Mike does take the job. He goes to work at Freddy Fazbear's. He falls asleep the first night. He like plans to go to sleep that night. And I was like, dude, you have a job. This is a job and you're trying to keep your sister because while this whole storyline and being a security guard, working at Freddy Fazbear's and, you know, the animatronics, whatever, it all unfolds. While that's going on, you also have Mike and Abby's aunt, Jane, trying to get custody of Abby, which Mike thinks that she's just trying to get custody so that she can get like a monthly check from the government for whatever reason, I don't know. But Jane is just like so hell-bent on trying to get custody that it's like, dude, you need this job so you can keep Abby, so don't fall asleep on the job even though it's a night shift. Just don't do it. But he does, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Everything, I guess. But I will say that the interesting thing about Mike is that, you know, he has this whole dream theory thing. He and Abby have a brother who went missing when they were kids. Well, I don't think Abby was born, which is a weird thing to me. But just Mike is trying to figure out what happened to Garrett. He's trying to figure out if he can figure out who the guy was who took his brother. Because he was supposed to be watching his brother while he and his parents were camping. Long story short, their mom accidentally knocks over a glass bottle of Coke or whatever. She's like, oh, let me grab a towel. Their dad's probably at the grill grilling up burgers. And so it's like, oh, watch your brother for me, will you? While I grab a towel to clean up the Coke that I spilled. And, you know, just, he gets distracted by a Frisbee that came from nowhere. And so the guy, you know, we don't see the guy grab Garrett. All we see is Garrett in the back of the car looking out the back while they're driving off. And Mike can't get the car. Garrett's just gone. We do find out that, you know, William Afton stole the kid, kidnapped him, whatever. But it's interesting that Mike is trying to use dream theory to figure out who kidnapped his brother. Because apparently it has been torturing him his entire life, which understood. He was supposed to be watching his brother. I get it. But why has it become such a huge thing right now when his parents have been gone for at least a couple years at this point? Because we do hear that later. But just why is it such a huge thing now? Have you been trying to figure it out your entire life? Because he was 12 when Garrett went missing. And now he's who knows how old. But it's interesting. It's weird, okay? Okay. Anyways, on the either the second or third night, I'm not entirely sure which one at this point. On the second or third night, might be the second one. I think it's the second one. You meet the police officer, the police officer, whose name is Vanessa. Which, you know, I audibly gasped at that. She was like, yeah, hi, I'm Vanessa. And I was like, oh, maybe not that dramatic, but I was basically just like, oh my God, it's Vanessa. We know Vanessa from Security Breach, which I do like Security Breach. I've not played it, but I have watched Markiplier play it. I think it's a fun game, okay? Even though I haven't played it. I do own it, I just haven't played it yet. Oops. So we meet Vanessa, and she's all like, oh, you know, have you met them yet? She turns on all the lights, she does Showtime, and whatever, and I'm just, she basically says, like, oh, there were murders here, you know, at Freddy Fazbear's, blah, 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 whatever. All these kids went missing, their bodies were never found, and I'm like, okay, so you can tell him that, but you can't tell him, hey, the animatronics like to move around. You can't tell him that. You can't tell him that. You can't say, hey, there's ghost children living inside the animatronics. You can't tell him that? Come on. What's wrong with you? But anyways, so I did mention that Jane is trying to get custody of Abby. And so there's a point where Jane is with her lawyer and two delinquents, one of which is Abby's babysitter. And Jane hires the delinquents to go mess up Freddy Fazbear's after a night, after Mike has gotten off his shift. Which the lawyer is kind of like, I've realized I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be listening to this. I shouldn't be hearing this. Like, I need to get out. But Jane makes him stay. The delinquents do go and start messing up Freddy Fazbear's. They all get murdered by the animatronics. So fun times. But I think it's really interesting that, they found a way in. And I'm like, okay, so that way in has been open the entire time, like since before Mike got the job, from what I can tell, because Mike really only opens the front door. And they went through a side entrance. So I'm like, that's been an issue for a while. But yeah, so after the delinquents end up dead and, Freddy Fazbear's is messed up. Vandalized. It's vandalized. Vanessa ends up making a stop at Mike's house, which is where she meets Abby. And of course she's like, I didn't know you had a daughter. And it's like, oh, no, that's my sister. And it's like, oh, I didn't know you had a sister. But, Vanessa mentions that, hey, Freddy Fazbear's was vandalized. And I'm like, okay, does she know that people died? Because I can't remember if she mentions that or not. But I don't know if I don't know. Because, obviously, if she knew that people died and she knew who did die, then she can't say anything. Although, now that I think about it, since her... Spoiler alert, Vanessa is William Afton's daughter. I'm like, does she just know because her dad probably said something? Or what? But either way, whether she knew that people died or not, she obviously, like, as a police officer, couldn't just tell Mike, hey, these people died. Here are their names. Can't say that. But anyways, so since one of the delinquents was Abby's babysitter, Max, and since Mike can't get a hold of Max, he just has to take Abby into work. And he's like, okay, here's what you're going to do. You are going to sleep in the office while I'm working. And it's like, okay, cool. So what he does, Abby goes to sleep. He starts cleaning up Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. He's sweeping up the glass. He's, just essentially making things right throughout the pizzeria. And then once he's done cleaning, which I guess only took a couple of hours, not even a full night. I feel like it could have taken a full night, in my opinion, but whatever. He goes back to the office and he sleeps. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? You have a child here. You are supposed to be working. And you decide to sleep. Not to mention he's taking sleeping pills. So he really is asleep. What is wrong with you? I can't. But, the animatronics are finally awake after he is, like, finished cleaning and everything. And Abby ends up waking up because she heard something. Or no, maybe she just needed to go to the bathroom. I don't know. She does end up going to the bathroom. She tries to wake Mike up to tell him, like, hey, I'll be right back. But he's asleep. He's dead. He's dead asleep. But Abby goes to the restroom, she comes out, she befriends the animatronics. Mike hears her screaming in his dream, and then he wakes up and hears her screaming again. He goes out to find that she has befriended the animatronics, and they have been tickling her, which I don't know how they were doing that, but okay. But Mike is very obviously freaked out that she has made friends with the animatronics, which... me too! I would be freaked out too. I'm also watching this and I'm like, that's a little odd. I don't know if you really want to be friends with them, but okay. But she does find out that the animatronics love pictures. Like, if she just draws them a little picture and gives it to them, they are happy as can be. I do kind of wonder, though, if she can actually talk to them. Maybe she's seeing, because you do see kind of throughout the movie, mostly when Mike is dreaming and trying to figure out what happened to Garrett, you do see the kids as... like, each of the animatronics. So I'm like, maybe she's seeing the kids sometimes instead of the animatronics, which, like, understood, cool, got it. But it's just, like, it's a little weird that she's become friends with them. But I'm also not really surprised because children are children and they will befriend whatever they want to, if we're being honest. I will say, though, that there is a point where Abby found there's, like, some family court papers that Jane gave Mike at one point. And Abby found them and is, like, upset about that. And she's like, why do you have these? And Mike can't really explain, but I think before the fourth night or before the final night, I don't remember which, Mike needs Jane, their aunt, who's trying to get custody of Abby. Mike gets Jane to babysit because he's like, hey, I gotta go do some stuff. Can you babysit? Because he can't find the regular babysitter Max because she's dead. So when Abby comes down in the morning to get breakfast, because, you know, Mike's like, hey, you know, I got breakfast for you. Go ahead and get dressed. And then we got some stuff we got to talk about. And of course, Jane is just there. Jane is there already that morning before Mike can talk to Abby. And so I'm like, Mike, you went about this you went about it all wrong. You should have said, you know, Jane, get here at XYZ time, whatever time, you know. And I will make sure I talk with Abby, let her know what's happening, because I'm sure when Abby saw Jane in the kitchen, she thought, oh my God, I have to go live with Abby. You know, Mike signed his rights away, and now I have to live with Abby. What the fuck? Which was not what happened. Jane was only babysitting. So, but Mike, for whatever reason, goes and gets more sleeping pills. I mentioned this, but he visited Vanessa, whatever. He told her about the sleeping pills because she found them at Freddy Fazbear's, and she threw them in the river, and she was like, don't do this. And don't bring Abby. But he went and got more sleeping pills, and he went to Freddy Fazbear's middle of the day, you know, and according to the film's Wikipedia page, he overdoses on the sleeping pills. I didn't realize that. I thought he just took one. But maybe I'm wrong. But he takes sleeping pills to figure out what happened to Garrett, and he ends up making a deal with the Golden Freddy kid to say, because when he goes this time into his dream, it's changed. Instead of Garrett being taken away, Garrett is just there. His family is just there. They were having a lovely time at this campsite, having a picnic, doing whatever. And, you know, Mike is like, this isn't how this goes. This is not what happened. And Golden Freddy's like, but don't you want it to be? And so he ends up making a deal with Golden Freddy saying, hey, I'll give you Abby, because that's what they want. That's what the kids want. They want Abby. I'll give you Abby. I will keep Garrett and my family. I will keep this. And as soon as he makes that deal, he regrets it. He's like, he makes the deal and then he's suddenly like, wait, no, hold on. No, hold on. And I was like, why would you make that deal? Why would you make that deal? It's obviously a very much you're in that moment in time, you're like, yes, Garrett. I want to find out what happened to Garrett. I want to find out what happened to my baby brother who I could not save and I could not find. So in order for Mike to keep the whole Garrett and his family thing going on over here, Golden Freddy, the animatronic, has made its way to Mike and Abby's house somehow. I don't know how. I don't even know how they know where Mike and Abby live, for being honest. Well, however, if William Afton has, like Mike's resume, it probably has the address on it. It's like, go there. But how did Golden Freddy get there? I don't know. It's a whole thing. But Golden Freddy goes into the house, kills Jane. Just Aunt Jane, dead. Who needs her? Gets Abby to come out. And Abby sees Jane, and Golden Freddy's like, oh, she's just sleeping. She fell over. Like, whatever. And so they take a taxi back to Freddy Fazbear's. And while that's happening, back over here with Mike, who is still dreaming, and is now, like, trying to reverse his deal and be like, no, you can't have Abby. I will wake up. In the dream, all of the kids, the animatronic kids, are like coming up and like scratching him and whatever. And he ends up waking up, because obviously this is also happening in real life. Something is going on. He wakes up with a whole bunch of wounds and he's strapped to the chair and he's about to be, this is a scene you see in the trailer where there's that whole, it's not a Freddy mask, but it's some other animatronic mask that has all the whirly things that are going to cut up his face. It gets closer and closer. He escapes. He escapes. I think he does pass out for some reason. I don't remember why. Anyways, Vanessa ends up finding him, bringing him to like a police, not really a safe house. I don't know what to call it. Like an expo's not the right word. But Vanessa fixes him up and she's like, okay, here's the thing. So the yellow bunny that, Abby mentioned that the ghost kids keep mentioning. Yeah, so he's my father. His name is William Afton. And she's basically like, I know that he's been killing kids. I know that is what he has been doing. I can't help it. I can't fix it. I know about the ghost kids. I continue to visit them, but I can't do anything. And I'm like, dude, why? You were literally a police officer. This is not good for you. Like, I understand why she probably got into the police force. She's like, hey, I want to help kids not get into this situation, you know? I want to be able to help out. Since she couldn't help out the kids who are dead and have been murdered. It's really here that you find out, or figure out, that William Afton stole Garrett, Mike's brother. Because there's a picture of a young Vanessa and her father in the yellow bunny suit holding the toy plane that Garrett had. So yikes. But anyways, Vanessa says she's not going back to Freddy Fazbear's that night, at least, you know. But Mike is very much like, I have to go rescue Abby. Give me whatever you got. And so he ends up taking a bunch of tasers that will, you know, like electrocute the animatronics, kind of shut them down. And so that's essentially what happens, is that he goes back, he ends up like electrocuting some of the animatronics. Vanessa shows up at some point. I don't remember why or how or what she does, other than try to shoot her father. But before Mike can actually get there, Chica tries to kill Abby. You know, Abby shows up with Golden Freddy and they're having a good time, and Chica calls her up on stage and they go, and she does try to kill Abby because they want Abby. They want Abby to be like them. And so she takes her to the back and she's gonna like put her in a suit that has like the spring locks and will murder her. But Mike gets there, electrocutes Freddy and Bonnie who are on stage, and then goes and electrocutes Chica, and then Abby is saved. But guess who shows up? It's William Afton. Wow. I will say that when William Afton first shows up in the yellow bunny, like animatronic suit, he looks huge. He looks like 12 feet tall, which he's not. And I feel like just the way they filmed him coming in, I think they filmed it in such a way to make him look gigantic. Because, oh my god. And then, you know, the scene keeps going on. This whole thing keeps going on where they're like talking with William Afton, and basically they essentially end up not fighting him, I guess, but you know, the more the scene goes on and you see William Afton, he like takes the animatronic head off and everything and blah, 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 whatever. It's suddenly like, oh no, he's just normal sized. The suit's big, and so he's kind of like this, but he's normal height. He's not 12 feet tall. Oops. But something I don't think I really touched on, but I said earlier that Abby found out that the animatronics like drawings, and so, you know, she would give him a drawing. It's during this point too that we find out kind of that the ghost kids don't remember being murdered by William Afton. They don't remember that. They think that he's their friend. They kind of do whatever he says. They think he's awesome. He's great. And to essentially save all of them, Abby really quickly ends up drawing what really happened to them, which is the yellow bunny man killing them. And they suddenly very quickly turn on him, and they're like, drawings are the truth. Drawings tell the truth, and Abby drew the truth. That's what happened. So the cupcake that Chica has, you know, goes and like gnaws off part of William Afton's suit, like right here-ish, and activates, like triggers the spring locks that are inside his suit. And so they, you know, like go into him and you know, essentially killing him, although he's still alive for a while, it seems. Oh, something I skipped over. I said that all the animatronics were like electrocuted by Mike, or tasered, sorry. They're like tasered and shut down. When William Afton shows up, he basically just says, all right, kids, wake up. And they all wake up, which didn't seem right to me. That just didn't seem right. How did they wake up? Just by him saying, hey, wake up. I don't know. I don't know technology and electronics and what happens after you tase an electronic kind of thing. I don't know. So maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know. But yeah, so, you know, the kids turn on William Afton. They lock him up. Essentially, I think they kind of just lock him in a storeroom and leave him there to die. It's a whole thing. Anyways, Abby and Mike are alive. Apparently Vanessa is in a coma. I didn't quite realize that, but that's what the wiki page says, is that she's in a coma. I'm like, I thought she was just unconscious for a bit, you know, just hadn't woken up yet, but I guess that's what a coma is. All right. But it's like, it kind of ends on good terms in a sense, you know? I will say, I have questions about William Afton. Why is he a serial killer? Why did he murder 5 kids and Garrett? So 6 kids. Why did he stuff them into animatronics? Why, Why is I think I asked this already, but why is he murdering children? Why does he keep murdering the guards that he hires at Freddy Fazbear's? Although technically the children are murdering the guards. But why? Is William Afton saying, hey, the guards fucking suck, murder them? Or what? Also, was it William's intentions to imprison kids in animatronic suits? As I was typing up my notes, I was like, you know what? He just really likes murdering people. I'm seeing that now. He just likes murder. All right, cool. However, something I didn't quite understand was that, you know, obviously we see the 5 ghost children throughout the movie, mostly in Mike's dreams, and they each relate to one of the animatronics. You have Freddy Fazbear. You have Freddy, you have Bonnie, you have Chica, you have Foxy, and then you have Golden Freddy. And I was like, okay, that's 5. Garrett, though. What do we do with him? And then I had a thought. Chica has a cupcake. Is the cupcake a separate ghost from Chica? Or are they the same ghost? Because if it's a separate ghost, is it Garrett? I don't know. I have no idea. I do not know. What happened to Garrett? Where's Garrett's ghost? Does Garrett not have a ghost? Is he in some other animatronic somewhere? I don't know. I got nothing. It is what it is. I will say, again, the movie was good. It was really good. I thought all the acting was fantastic. Everyone did a really fantastic job. It's not like high up on my list of it's up there, but it's not like top of the top best movie ever. It's just like it's a good movie that I would happily watch again and again and again. You know? I will say I thought the funniest thing, like with the jump scares that were throughout this movie, a lot of them were Balloon Boy. Just a little Balloon Boy figurine. You open a locker and suddenly like, oh, there he is. Or we actually have a mid-credits scene, which is he's like a YouTuber, I think, he's like a FNAF YouTuber, maybe, I don't know. But he was the taxi driver. You know, he's like trying to sleep. There's like knock on the taxi, whatever. And you know, he's kind of like, no, I'm sleeping. My light is off. Whatever, and the whatever gets in anyways, and he's like, man, what the hell? Like lifts his sleeping mask and turns to the seat beside him. It's Balloon Boy. It's really funny. It's still the small figurine. I think it happens once more somewhere in the movie as well, but whatever. I will say one of the funny things is that there weren't like a lot of people in my theater today, because I saw October 27th. Hopefully I'm releasing this video tonight. We'll see. But like, I think most of the people that were in my theater when I went and saw it, we all pretty much stayed throughout the credits just to see if there's a little something else. Because I feel like a lot of people do that nowadays, where it's like, depending on the movie, it's like, is there gonna be an end credit scene? Are we gonna see something cool? No, we just had that mid-credits scene with the Balloon Boy jump scare, which I'm not complaining about. But, you know, we're all sitting in the theater waiting, like, end credits? The answer was no. There was nothing in the end credits other than that mid-credit scene. But oh, I was gonna mention there was another YouTuber who made a surprise guest appearance. It was Matt Pat. And the funny thing is that there was me sitting here, there was an empty seat beside me, and then beside me there were like 4 guys. And the guy closest to me said something before the movie started about like, oh, I wonder if Matt Pat's gonna be in this. I would love him to be like, oh, you know, it's just a theory, a game theory. And of course, Matt Pat shows up in a scene and says, but hey, that's just a theory. And the guy was like, he said the thing! I was like, yeah, he did. I mean, I didn't say that, but it was like, oh. But this kid just, throughout the movie, like, it wasn't a lot, but there were a couple times he made like small comments to his friends, and I'm sitting here thinking, oh my god, shut up. I am that person where I'm like, if you're at the movies seeing a movie, shush. Shush while the movie's going on, okay? You don't need to be talking throughout it. If you're gonna watch it at home, talk, whatever, fine. But if you're at the movies, shush. That's my personal opinion though. That's my opinion. And if that's not how you roll, I hope your comments are at least kind of quiet whenever you make them to your friends. Not that this kid wasn't quiet. Like, he was still fairly quiet, you know? He'd be like, oh yeah, whatever. But it was like, I'm sitting 2 seats away from you, and I'm like, I can hear you. I didn't talk to this kid ever at all, but whatever. But anyways, good movie, great movie. I wouldn't be upset about a sequel, but I also don't know where they would go with a sequel. But I think that's also just because I don't know all of the lore of FNAF. And I just, you know, I don't know. I didn't know what this movie was going to be, and I don't know where they would go with the next one. If they make another one, which, if they do make another one, hopefully Markiplier can be in it, because I would love that. Just saying. Okay? Okay, cool. Anyways, I think that's it from me. I know a lot of this is really just summary of what happened, because I'm that person. I summarize. I go, hey, here's what happened. Like, I go, hey, I'm going to talk about the whole movie, and then I don't have much to add, sorry. But yeah, so that's kind of it from me. I do want to see if I can still beat the first game. I just have to get through night 4 and not be an idiot. My apologies. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I do play video games myself, so if you want to see some of that, you can find some videos on my channel, or I do also stream on Twitch. Link is in the description below. Otherwise, if you like this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I hope you all have a good day, have a good night, have a good whatever, wherever you are, and I will see you all next time. Bye!